for pomp. And look, today it is all about that pomp and pageantry. In theory, it should be the low-risk day, although that's a relative term when it comes to President Trump. Of course, this isn't his first state visit. It's an unprecedented second.
Of course, his first state visit is an unprecedented second. 当然，他的首次国事访问是史无前例的第二次。
Barack Obama and George W. Bush didn't get to come back a second time, and this is really what we do best here in the UK.
And this is really what we do best here in the UK. 而这确实是我们英国人最擅长的事情。
But the risk is that we deploy our ace, the king, without getting anything.
But the risk is that we deploy our ace, the king, without getting anything
substantive in return.
但风险在于我们打出了王牌，主牌却一无所获。Substantive in return， 没有实质性的回报。
And you may remember during Donald Trump's first state visit, they'd all just sat down for the state banquet.
Trump's first state visit, they'd all just sat down for the state banquet. 特朗普首次进行国事访问时，他们刚刚入座，准备享用国宴。
At Buckingham Palace, everybody in their finery, only for an interview.
Everybody in their finery.
To break with the Sun newspaper, in which Trump had criticised then Prime Minister Theresa May. Indigestion for all. Deeply embarrassing, and there are many potential pitfalls again.
And there are many potential pitfalls again. 而且同样存在许多潜在的隐患。
This time, for example, Tom, you've got many UK officials worried that Trump will confront Starmer on.
You've got many UK officials worried that Trump will confront Starmer. 许多英国官员担心特朗普会与英国首相斯塔默发生冲突。
His pledge to recognize Palestine.
His pledge to recognize Palestine. 他承认巴勒斯坦的承诺。
The UN General Assembly meeting in New York coming up next week. There's also the uncomfortable question of Jeffrey Epstein. Starmer just having lost his UK ambassador to Washington.
Having lost his UK ambassador to Washington. 失去了英国驻华盛顿大使。
Washington Peter Mandelson over the deceased, disgraced financier.
Over the deceased, disgraced financier. 关于那位已故的声名狼藉的金融家。
And Epstein, of course, is the tie that binds Starmer via Mandelson, the king.
And Epstein, of course, is the tie that binds Starmer via Mandelson, the king。当然，爱泼斯坦就是通过麦迪逊将斯坦默联系起来的纽带。
Via his brother Prince Andrew and Donald Trump himself. So not only could there be painful small talk, there is the serious question.
So not only could that be painful small talk, there is the serious question. 所以这件事不仅可能只是茶余饭后闲聊的谈资，而且还存在一个严肃的问题。
Which may be posed to Starmer at the joint press conference at the end of this trip. Does he actually think that anyone with links to Epstein is fit for high office?
Yes, and of course, when you think of Epstein, unfortunately, you also have to think about the royal family and the role of Prince Andrew and his friendship, of course, with the late disgraced financier. What role would the extended royal family play?
What would the extended royal family play? 这个大的王室家族会扮演什么样的角色呢？
Are all members getting involved in this? You've described them as the ace in the pack, the king.
How we described as the ace in the park. 我们如何描述在这个里面的王牌呢？ The king is the ace in the pack. 国王是最重要的人物。
The ace in the pack. What other cards from the royal family is this UK government hoping to play?
Well, the President and the First Lady are going to arrive here in Windsor to be greeted by the King and Queen. As you say, they'll go on a carriage procession around the grounds of Windsor, avoiding any potential protests, I might add. But they'll be with the Prince and Princess of Wales.
They'll be with the Prince and Princess of Wales. 他们将和威尔士亲王及王妃在一起。
We hear that Donald Trump took a shining to Prince William when they met in Paris last year. He said he was very handsome. So they're keen to deploy William on this visit as well.
They are keen to deploy William on this visit as well. 他们也热衷于安排威廉参加这次访问。
They'll then be having a private lunch. They'll lay a wreath on the tomb of the late.
They'll then be having a private lunch to lay a wreath on the tomb of the late. 之后，他们将举行一场私人午宴，并在逝者墓前敬献花圈。
Queen Elizabeth II, of course, Donald Trump very, very fond of the late Queen. And we know that he loves royal tradition. He's gone from a Saudi oasis to a Dutch palace and now to Windsor Castle.
我家。去嘛去。He's gone from a Saudi oasis to a Dutch place and now to Windsor Castle.
We know the effect that the hand-signed invitation from King Charles III produced on Donald Trump back in February when Starmer delivered it to the White House. We got shunted to the front of the queue when it came to a trade deal. Britain now benefiting from lower tariffs than other US allies. But the point again is that this soft power needs to translate into hard leverage for Britain when it comes to trade, when it comes to geopolitics, on the crucial issues of Ukraine and the Middle East as well, because frankly, this visit couldn't come at a worse time for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.